Talk to him.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Whether the winters were left in the cold.
Yo, it's Classic with the classic codes, man. Y'all know I got that look in my eye. Y'all know why I got that look in my eye, man. It's another reaction today. Before we get into it, I need y'all to hit that subscribe button. I need y'all to hit that like button, and I need y'all to comment as we go along, because we gotta crack these codes, man. But we heading over to Rivah TV, man, for another reaction. Y'all know. What up, Rivah? Everybody make sure y'all tap in. Sheryl Underwood, she talking about not even the realization, because maybe she always felt this way, but Sheryl Underwood is just talking about why boss chicks are single, and essentially, stating that she understands that she need a man. Let's go.
Women are gonna have a hard time because some men think we don't need you. I need you. I need you. You can work at the gas station, and I need you.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah, and I'm back again with another video. So recently, comedian Sheryl Underwood was actually on The Breakfast Club, in which obviously they were laughing, there was a lot of jokes, and they talked about a plethora of different things. What I wanted to hone in on specifically was a conversation that Sheryl Underwood was having, basically stating, the reason why boss chicks have a hard time getting into and maintaining relationships.
Successful women are going to have a hard time because some men think we don't need you.
Now, immediately when I heard this, it kind of caught me off guard. I'm like, I kind of don't think that's what the situation is, right? A lot of these successful women, a lot of these, quote unquote boss chicks, they lead with the narrative that they don't need them, right? Like they are on a consistent basis trying to prove to everybody in the world that they can do bad all by themselves. They don't need a man for finances. They can pay their own bills. What do I need a man for, or somebody's son, around me for, just to stress me out? Like I can do all these things by myself. I might want you, but I don't need you. Like this is something that a lot of these successful women, successful in business, lead with. And so for men to, be around other successful women who they might possibly be interested in, it is not a far-fetched thing for these men to then kind of be taken aback. Like, I don't know, because I don't want to deal with, you the boss at the job, so you're going to come home and boss me around. I don't want to deal with you telling me all this stuff that I can't add to your life. So it's extremely reasonable. What I think that Sheryl is, she's speaking from a certain place, but I think that the reason why it's a hard time for her to understand the woman's contribution to this way is because her mindset, even though she is successful, is completely different to that of her peers.
I need you. I need you. You work at the gas station, and I need you. Why? Because I know I'm getting honey buns, I'm gonna get barbecue chips, and a full tank of gas. And then I'm gonna motivate you to buy the gas station you're working. And then I'm gonna motivate you to buy more gas stations. That's right. If that's what you want to do.
Now, before we even get into the buying the gas stations part, she is saying at her level of success, even if there's somebody who works at the gas station who she's interested in, who she has a liking for, she has no problem being in a relationship with that man. And she's like, even if you were there, I still need you. Right. And so I think Just Hilarious maybe thought that she was going to allude to a joke, but she was very serious. Right. But again, this is very contrary to her peers. You have her peers who, one being, Ebony K. Williams. And when I say peer, I mean peer as in another.
Look at that. Oh, she's going to be Let Them Crash Out episode 2. Thank you so much, Rivah. Let Them Crash Out episode 2. That woman, Ebony K, became a single mother on purpose. I don't want to hear no more arguing about how you think single mamas chose to be single mamas. Oftentimes the answer is yes. Oftentimes it is yes. Sometimes it is no. It is. They really wanted to be with their baby daddy. They really saw life with him. Sometimes that's the case. But most of the time, if I had to put my bread on it and we was going to take, somehow find out the true numbers, I'm taking the over on, yeah, you chose it. One way or another, you chose it for sure. So, yeah, that's a crash out right there. A straight up crash out. Ebony K. Williams is the definition of misery in public. You understand me?
Natural born crash dummy. And he go crash out. He go crash out.
Yeah, that is a crash dummy if I ever seen one. But let Rivah cook. Man, I got triggered when I saw her. God.
Successful Black woman, right, who has made it known time and time again. Ayanla asked her, would you date a bus driver? And she was like, if he owned a bus.
Would you date a bus driver? You
Would you date?
If he owns the bus. If he owns
No.
it. If he owns the bus.
See, that's a problem. That's a problem.
Ebony K. Williams had so much disdain for being with a man who was not, a high value man or, a high earning man, so much so that she literally created a space where she was a baby mama by choice.
Oh
okay,
God.
she went to the bank, got pregnant, and decided to raise a child on her own because of how much disdain she had for being with a man that she would feel would be beneath her.
Hey, the crazy part is she still got a baby daddy. It was just any, mini, money, mo. She still got a baby daddy. That ain't the Holy Spirit baby. That ain't immaculate conception. That nut came from somebody. Yeah. And it got spirits on it too, because he probably was looking at some nasty magazines to get one off to provide you with the oil that you needed. You understand me? Y'all don't want to talk about how wicked it is. Yeah, on the spiritual side, yikes. Yeah. Oh, I'm definitely doing that breakdown video. We're gonna have a good time with that crash out. We are gonna have a great time with that crash out.
Natural born crash dummy, and he go crash out. He go crash out.
Are availing ourselves to all of the options that our hard work and circumstances currently afford us. And that means that single motherhood by choice is going to be an option that more and more Black women consider and even exercise.
Think about that. Here you have Sheryl Underwood, who's talking like, even if you work there, I still need you. And not only do I need you, I'm also going to be there and be your helpmate, be your motivator for if you want to do more than that. Right. And so one thing that I wanted to mention is that, yes, you can be a successful woman, but I think that there's so much emphasis on, this man has to be in a certain space. One thing that I do like that she mentioned, which a lot of women do never talk about, is the fact that she was like, you know what? And that's if you want to do that. If you don't want to do that, I'm cool either way.
If you cool working at the gas station, I'll make sure your shirt is fresh and ironed. Nate, because your real name is Nathaniel. I'm gonna make sure your shirt is ready. Give me some sugar. Now go work at the gas station. I'm gonna swoop around. Give me a tank of gas. I need that 91 octane. And I'll see you later.
I thought that was very important that she mentioned that, because so many times there are women who get into relationships with men and they are trying to change that man's life, right? That man never told you he wanted to own no gas station. He never told you he wanted any different position. He is completely happy and satisfied with the life that he is living. He's very comfortable. And, in some ways you have some people who are complacent, as in, they, have room to grow and they could be lazy or lack ambition or whatever the case is. But you have other spaces where men are just, or not just men, but people are in positions that they are actually satisfied in.
Yes.
I would date a bus driver.
Yes. Let me tell you something. Rivah could not be cooking. She could not be cooking with warmer grease, because I'll tell you, I had a high level corporate job, and I had got to a point where I was getting promoted too much. I had gotten to this role where the pay was good for me, living inside my means, living comfortable, taking trips out the country 2-3 times a year, able to save effectively, like really living like cool. I was by myself, single, still to this day, no kids, was sitting pretty. And they kept trying to promote me to the point where I was almost frowned upon for like stagnation. When really I told the VP when I had a meeting with the VP, and they was trying to promote me to this position. I'm not going to get into company names, all that, right? But I had a meeting with the VP, and he was just like, man, we feel like you can bring even more value and this, that, and the third. And I said, listen, with the role that I'm in, I have absolutely perfect work-life balance. And that is invaluable to me. I know a lot of people that's unpopular, for them to tap into that type of energy because they feel like, oh, more. You got to understand that you are conditioned to be gluttonous in this capitalistic society. You in life, there should be a place of serenity that you can get to. But a lot of people don't have the perspective that would allow that. You should be able to get to a place of serenity. Like, for example, if the richest person in the world gave you a blank check and said, write what you need on here to be able to just be at ease forever. There's some people that would write an astronomical number. My number probably wouldn't even exceed 8 figures. And I'd be cool. I don't want it all because everybody need to have some. We are bred to be gluttonous. Your average person wake up every day thinking about what they don't have. It is the reason also it translates over into the dating like we talking about, because it is the reason why most of these women are unsatisfiable. They will never be satisfied. If you are overly ambitious, you don't got enough time for them. If you got too much time for them, we ain't got enough resources. I want a suite with a view when we go on vacation. Why you ain't trying to get a bigger bag? And they'll put your ass on the clock too. You could be ambitious, but not making it fast enough for her. These things are real. These things are happening. And we got to correct our mindset. And I think that's what Rivah trying to do. And ultimately, that's what I'm trying to do. But, we do it in the form of entertainment. Let's get back to the cook, man.
If he loved driving the bus, if he was a man of integrity, if he was good to his mama, if he treated me well, I would date a bus driver.
They never dreamed to own a chain of gas stations. They never wanted to do that. They didn't want the responsibility of that. And they're completely content and okay. And I love the fact that she mentioned that aspect of it. Because again, you have these women who are so busy chasing the bag, they get around these men and try to, change their life and take their controlling nature, their business mindset, and try to put it onto this man who never said that he wanted that. Right. And so either you want to be in a relationship with that person as they are, or you don't. And I think that that's something that a lot of women definitely need to take into account when they are dating or when they are searching for a spouse. If that man decides that he does not want to do anything else different than what he is doing now today, will you be satisfied being with that man? If the answer is no, you need to move on so he can find somebody who would be satisfied at where he is today if he decides that he does not want to change at all. A lot of women set themselves up for failure in relationships and set themselves up for heartbreak because they are getting into a relationship for what would be nice. Right? It would be nice if he decided to do this. It would be nice if he decided to elevate in that way. It would be nice if he was going to own the gas stations. But again, you're signing up for a what if or what could be instead of what really is. And you need to take into account of who that person truly is, what they stand for, what they stand by. And again, would you be happy if that's where that person stayed, for whatever time?
See, the people we wonder why these young like these older women. Listen to what she just said.
Raymond over here blushing the whole time. What you trying to do? What you trying to do? What you trying to do anyway?
So just hilarious, was like, this is why them young dudes want to give them older women because, they the ones that, have no problem. And, I know she was just making a joke. Obviously, Jess is a comedian as well. So she's just making a joke, Kiki and, to just, bring around the conversation. However, it's definitely not a young and old thing. Right? It's definitely just a woman who is capable of understanding a man's mindset and is compassionate towards her counterpart. A lot of the women that I see that have this uptight nature are ones who have all these, this list of standards. They have their list. And again, one of the reasons why a lot of these men deter away from being in relationships with these so-called successful business women or women who have a certain amount of finances is because they believe that because they have certain degrees on the wall, that makes them qualified in every aspect. And it doesn't.
A world in which Black women are no longer subject to the desperation of being chose, because now we get to do the choosing.
Just because you were able to get your master's degree, your whatever, you're able to manage your finances, does not mean that you're a good partner.
At all. It has nothing to do with it, actually. Has absolutely nothing to do with it. Now, that could be useful. Some of those skills could be useful to a man, right? Like, for example, I'll use my own parents. I think my mother keeps the books. But it ain't because Pops can't. He don't want to. So that's one of her roles. She keep the books. So that skill is used, but it's in a submissive, way. Because whenever Pops say, hey, let me see that bill or give me this, or she writing the file cabinet, here you go. You know what I'm saying? All right, look, I'm finna send you this. Woo, these are things I heard in my household. I'm finna send you this on that and make sure he'll hit her up and press her to make sure she paid something, you know what I'm saying, on the date he went, hey, did you get that paid? Yeah, I took care of it. Woo. But he'll press her like almost like a secretary, but she do it in a submissive way and she keep the books. Like that skill could be used, but it don't necessarily, it's not gonna make or break for a man. Cause when he was single, when you met him and he was keeping his own books. So he don't need you for it. But yeah, it could be useful. But don't act like, my ability and to be an accountant makes me a wife. No. That ain't even at the nowhere near the top of our list of priorities when we choosing a wife. It's just not. You understand me? So Rivah always on point. And when we have our subtle ways of seeing things different, I can't even say disagreement, but seeing things different, it's rare. But I just think that the mindset is what's affecting us the most. I ain't gonna lie.
It doesn't mean that you know how to navigate relationships. It means that you know how to navigate business. Business and personal relationships are completely different. You want to know why? Because in business, it's very surface level interactions, right? In a personal relationship, that man is seeing you for your flaws, you know, the negative aspects, the parts of yourself that you've hidden away that you need to change within yourself. And only if you are able to have a certain level of humility are you going to be able to navigate that relationship. In business, it's the opposite. Right? You can lead with your ego. You can lead with, you know, I'm the best. We're the best at this. This is what we do. You know, get with it or get lost, but you're going to be missing out if you miss this deal. Completely different parts of you that you would need to use to navigate to quote unquote success in those aspects. And so ironically, she was, you know, talking about the fact, you know, to men, that men don't feel needed.
Successful women are going to have a hard time because some men think we don't need you.
But I kind of, you know, found it that it was ironically the opposite, right? The same reason why these men don't feel needed is because of the women telling them that they're not needed, right? And so it's not like men just woke up one day and was like, oh, you know, I'm not going to be with no successful woman because, you know, I feel like, what am I going to do? They don't need me for nothing. That's not what happened. It's the women around who have created that narrative that they have been told frequently, we don't need you. If you can't do this, that, or the third for me, I don't need you.
Mm-hmm.
So again, for these women who are navigating these spaces, they're going to have to undo a lot of the doing that their peers have done for them, right? Their peers have put this negative light on them. And so, yeah, there's been a lot of women who work in spaces, come home and act like they still the boss, act like they still talking to an employee and not their man.
Shit.
So they're gonna have to do a lot of convincing. Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna keep it real.
Yeah.
This is why a man would rather go, you know, get a girl who works at McDonald's than a girl who owns a corporation because he don't want nobody talking to him crazy.
Yeah.
Sad to say it, but it's true.
Hey.
I'd like to know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear.
Yeah. I'm gonna put the link to Rivah in my description for this video as well. But she ain't said nothing wrong, man. But I hopefully I added some extra nuances to the dialogue as well. And I love what Sheryl Underwood was talking about for the most part. Like Rivah, she disagreed with certain little small details of how she was looking at it. But overall, by and large, if all women thought like her, we'd be in a better space for sure. You know what I'm saying? Because the male's role is far more important than simply whether or not he can pay every single bill and allow you to live like his daughter and not his wife, you know, because wives been working. I grew up in a family full of successful relationships, full of it. Every direction I could look, I could see a successful marriage to this day in my family. And I'm grateful for that. But what I'm saying is that you also see the reality of what sustainability looks like when you see those relationships. And I think because people haven't been able to witness the reality of what sustainability looks like and how rough some of those rough times get is why a lot of people love looking for exit doors. The fact that you feel like you don't need somebody is why you feel like it's so easy to leave. If you need that man, then there's going to be an element of desperation. And not desperation with a negative connotation, but desperation by definition. Hey, I ain't shit without you. You are a percentage of me at this point. So you go, I don't know what I'm going to do. And it may not have nothing to do with no money. That's what y'all don't get. All these successful marriages I seen, until you go 2 generations up in my family, all the women was working. So, and they worked full time and still came home and cooked the meal and cleaned up. And the man handled the shit outside, the yard, the gutters, the roofing, the bricks, the mortar, the basement, the plumbing, rodding out the plumbing, all of that. The man handled the mucky, manly, dirty finger, the car, getting under the oil change, all that. The man was doing that. And the women was taking care of inside the house. They both had 2 jobs. And they both had to find that time to balance the parenting out. This is the reality of sustainability that y'all don't want to. Y'all got a fairy tale in y'all head. And because you can never live out the fairy tale, you don't stick around for nothing. It's a shame that all these women getting up in their 40s and 50s out here chronically single got 2, 3, 4 ones that got away. Because your mind wasn't right. You're not interested in the role of a wife. So you won't be one. And if you become one, it won't be for long. And you'll be the one that leaves. So if we could change the mind, we could change our reality, man. With that being said, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Drop comments whether you agree or disagree so we can have a conversation, because we got to crack these codes, man. And without further ado, man, stick to the codes. Yeah, that's classic shit.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Weathered the winters when left in the cold. Harden my heart and now harden